In a moment of annoyance, Travis Kelce was taken aback when Taylor Swift inquired, "Should I cancel the playoffs for you?" But before their eventual reconciliation demonstrated that love could overcome all obstacles. This intense disagreement over professional priorities would drive them both to their breaking point. October 22, 2025, at 6:45 p.m. with her phone clamped to her ear, Taylor Swift paced her Nashville living room while her manager described an opportunity that had the potential to both simplify and change everything. Taylor's manager was saying, "This is the offer of a lifetime. A 12-city international tour that begins on December 1st and lasts till February. Before we even make an announcement, the venues are all booked. The revenue forecasts are unheard of." Taylor repeated December through February, feeling sick to her stomach when she understood what that meant. Travis's post-season season is bang in the middle of that. "Although I am aware that the time isn't perfect for your personal life, this could be the most significant tour of your career. We must get a response by tomorrow." Taylor hung up and sat on her couch, gazing at her phone while attempting to comprehend what she had just been presented with. During the most crucial months of her fiancé's football career, a tour that might shatter records, reach millions of fans, and cement her legacy as planned. Taylor didn't know how to bring up the fact that Travis was scheduled to return home from practice at any moment without escalating into a contentious discussion over whose career came first. Travis saw Taylor's nervous energy. As soon as he entered the room at 7:15, he put down his exercise bag and looked at her face, asking, "Everything okay?" "I need to talk to you about something," Taylor said, tapping the couch next to her. "You look stressed about something." Instantly aware, Travis sat down and said, "I got a call about a tour opportunity." "What kind of tour opportunity?" 12 cities, December through February. International venues, unprecedented demand. "My manager says it could be the biggest tour of my career." Travis was quiet for a moment, processing the dates. "December through February, that's playoff season." "I know, and potentially Super Bowl season if we make it that far." "I know," Taylor repeated, her voice getting slightly defensive. "But Travis, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the kind of tour that comes around maybe once in a decade." "I understand that it's a big opportunity," Travis said carefully. "But did you consider that this might be my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to... This could be the year we go all the way." "Of course, I considered that," Taylor said, her frustration starting to show. "But your season happens every year. A tour like this might never happen again." "My season happens every year, but playoff runs don't," Travis said, his own frustration building. "Do you know how many players never get a real shot at the Super Bowl? And do you know how many artists never get offered a tour of this magnitude?" Taylor shot back. They stared at each other, both realizing that this conversation was heading toward dangerous territory. "So, what are you asking me?" At last, Travis responded. "Are you requesting my consent to go on the tour?" Taylor got up and started pacing again. "I'm not asking for permission. I'm asking for your support," she said. "I want you to know why this is important to me and why the playoffs are important to me." Taylor raised her voice and stated, "I do understand that. However, I have been encouraging your career for more than a year. I've changed my plans, gone to games, and now prioritize your career. You're making me feel bad about a career opportunity I have." Travis stood up and stated, "I'm not making you feel guilty. I want to draw attention to how challenging the timing is. Who finds it difficult? For you, challenging for us. For our partnership. Do you know what it would mean to be on tour for 3 months during my most significant season?" Taylor remarked cynically. "It means I'd be working, similar to how you're working, for your playoffs. Should I postpone the tour? Should I pass up the greatest chance of my career in order to cheer from stadium boxes?" Travis thought she had given him a slap. "Do you truly think that cheering and sitting in boxes is the best way to support my career?" Taylor instantly regretted what she had said and said, "That's not what I meant." Travis's voice grew colder as he responded, "No, I think that's exactly what you meant. I believe you view your career as what truly counts and my career as something that occurs around your real life." Taylor objected. "That's not true." But even as she said it, she wondered whether there was some truth to his charge. "Isn't it? When was the last time you changed something on my schedule without my request?" "I constantly change everything to fit your schedule. You rearrange social and practical things. But have you ever declined a career opportunity because it didn't align with your values?" Taylor was unable to come up with an example right away, which made her angry. "Have you ever rejected me for a job opportunity?" "I declined the endorsement contract that would have forced me to travel to Los Angeles for 2 weeks during the release of your CD. I wanted to be there for your life, so I declined the sports commentator job that would have required me to travel every weekend throughout football season." Taylor stated on a weekly basis that those weren't career-defining possibilities. "How are you aware of this? How do you know that a career in broadcasting after football couldn't have resulted from that commentary gig? How can you be certain that the initial payment was the only value of that endorsement deal?" Taylor became aware that she had never considered those choices from Travis's point of view. "I didn't know you wanted those things. I didn't want them more than I wanted to prioritize our relationship," Travis replied. "But apparently that's not a two-way street." "That's not fair," Taylor remarked as she began to cry. I'm not forcing you to select anything, Travis muttered, frustratedly running his hands through his hair. You're making me choose between my career and our relationship. I'm asking you to think about the possibility that there may be instances in which your career choices should take our relationship into account. And I'm asking you to think about the possibility that my career could be just as significant as yours. I didn't say it wasn't. So why are you making me feel bad about wanting to go on this tour? Travis raised his voice and continued, because you're not just wanting to take the tour. You're acting as though I'm being unfair by asking me to be totally okay with you being away for 3 months. During the most crucial portion of my season, what then would you like me to do? Taylor raised her hands in question. To refuse the once-in-a-lifetime chance to have your girlfriend support you during playoff games, Travis remarked. I want you to at least acknowledge that this decision affects both of us. Instead of viewing me as a barrier to your professional success, I want you to speak to me as your partner. Taylor said, you are my partner, but her tone was unconvincing. Am I? Because at the moment, it seems like I'm the man you're engaged to who just so happens to get in the way of your actual priorities. They were both stunned by how vicious the argument had turned, and the words hung in the air between them. Taylor whispered, is that really what you think? Travis remarked. I think you've already made up your mind about this tour in a dejected tone. I think you came home looking for me to agree with you, not to actually discuss it as partners. That's not true, isn't it? When you asked me if you should cancel the tour for my playoffs, were you actually asking or were you making a point about how unreasonable you think I'm being? Taylor was quiet because she realized he was right. She had been making a point, not asking a genuine question. Maybe we're not as compatible as we thought we were, Taylor said quietly, the words coming out before she could stop them. Maybe we're not, Travis agreed equally quietly. They stood there in Taylor's living room, both realizing that their first major career conflict had revealed some fundamental differences in how they approached their relationship and their priorities. I'm going to stay at Jason's for a few days, Travis said finally. I think we both need some space to think about this. Travis, wait, Taylor said as he headed toward the door. What, I don't want to fight like this. Neither do I, Travis said sadly. But I think we needed to have this fight. I think we needed to figure out where we actually stand with each other. And where do we stand? I don't know, Travis responded with candor. After Travis left, Taylor sobbed while sitting on the couch. I guess we'll figure that out. She had to face some difficult realities about herself and their relationship, in addition to the fact that they had argued. Had she been undervaluing Travis's help? Had she been counting on him to prioritize her career over his? Taylor called her manager early the following day, October 23rd, and requested an extension of 3 days to make a choice. After that, she thought about the kind of connection she wanted to have with Travis and the kind of partner she wanted to be throughout the day. However, Taylor noticed that she was becoming more and more inclined to accept the tour as the hours went by. She had spent her entire career striving for this opportunity. Is it really possible for her to decline it for the postseason? In the meantime, Travis was lying awake in Jason's guest room, reliving the altercation and questioning whether he had acted irrationally. Perhaps Taylor was correct. Perhaps he was being self-centered to ask her to take into account his feelings regarding the scheduling, because this tour chance was once in a lifetime. Taylor wrote emails to her manager accepting the tour for the majority of the day on October 24th. She wrote paragraph after paragraph explaining that this was the best course of action for her job, that she couldn't allow personal ties to interfere with it, and that Travis would finally get it. However, she halted each time she tried to hit send. The emails had an unsettling quality, as if she was attempting to persuade herself of something she didn't quite believe. In the meantime, Travis found himself discussing the altercation with Jason and what it had shown about his own hopes and anxieties. During breakfast, Travis questioned his brother. Do you think I was being unreasonable? Jason answered thoughtfully. I think you were being honest about your feelings. However, I also believe that you two may have stopped listening to one, but another because you were so preoccupied with defending your positions. By what do you mean? Perhaps Taylor needs to feel that you encourage her to pursue her professional goals. Perhaps you need to feel that she takes your emotions into account while making important choices. Those don't have to conflict with one another, do they? She is unable to attend the tour and participate during the postseason. She might be able to take the trip and find methods to remain emotionally present for you, even if it's not physically possible. And perhaps you can acknowledge that you are wounded by the timing and still encourage her to go on the trip. Both Taylor and Travis were feeling more and more depressed as October 25th went by. At last, Taylor had made the decision to take the tour, but it didn't feel thrilling. If their careers were going to clash like this all the time, Travis had persuaded himself that perhaps they weren't compatible. Too hurt and too arrogant to initiate contact, neither of them made an attempt. 3 days after their altercation, on the evening of October 25th, Travis returned to Taylor's home by car. He didn't text or call first. He simply appeared at her door, appearing worn out and unsure. When she opened the door, he said, "Can we talk?" "Yes," Taylor said right away, her voice full of relief. They sat on opposite ends of the couch and said, "Please," as if they hadn't slept well in days. Taylor said, "I'm sorry. First, I'm sorry for the way I talked to you the other night. I was defensive and dismissive and you didn't deserve that. I'm sorry, too, Travis said. I let my hurt feelings turn into accusations and that wasn't fair. Can I tell you what I've been thinking about for the past 3 days? Taylor asked. Please. I've been thinking about what you said about me taking your support for granted, and you were right. You've made compromises and sacrifices for our relationship that I never asked you to make, and I never fully appreciated them or thought about reciprocating. Travis was quiet, listening. I spent 2 days writing emails to my manager accepting the tour, convinced that I couldn't let a relationship hold back my career. But every time I tried to send them, something stopped me. What stopped you? The realization that I wasn't making a career decision. I was making a relationship decision. I was choosing my individual success over our partnership, and that's not the person I want to be. Travis moved slightly closer to her on the couch. Taylor, let me finish. I also realized that I've been so focused on not losing myself in this relationship that I forgot about building something together. I've been protecting my independence instead of embracing our partnership. What I realized over the past 3 days, Travis said, is that I've been expecting you to read my mind about what I need from you instead of communicating clearly. I never told you how much those small sacrifices meant to me. So, you had no way of knowing that I valued them or wanted similar consideration. What else did you realize? I realized that I was hurt because I felt like you'd made a decision without me. But I never clearly expressed that I wanted to be part of the decision-making process. I just expected you to automatically include me. This has been the worst 3 days, Taylor said quietly. The worst, Travis agreed. I kept wanting to call you, but I didn't know what to say. I kept wanting to call you, too, but I was scared that you'd realized you were right about us not being compatible. Are we compatible? Travis asked seriously. Taylor thought about it for a long moment. I think we're compatible when we remember that we're building something together, instead of just protecting our individual interests. I think we're compatible when we communicate honestly instead of making assumptions. And when we're not doing those things, we have fights that make us both question everything. Taylor said, but, Travis, I'd rather fight with you and work through it than be with someone who never challenged me to be a better partner. Did this conflict inspire you to become a better partner? This fight made me realize that being in a partnership means sometimes making decisions that prioritize us over me. And that's not giving up my independence. And that's choosing to build something bigger than just my individual success. Travis reached for her hands. And what does that mean for the tour? I don't know yet, Taylor said honestly. But I know that whatever I decide, I want to decide it with you, not despite you. Can I tell you something? Travis asked. Always. I don't want you to turn down the tour because of me. I want you to figure out how to take the tour in a way that honors our relationship. I want us to solve this problem together instead of one of us sacrificing for the other. How do we do that? I don't know yet. But maybe we start by admitting that we both want this to work. We want your career to flourish and we want our relationship to thrive, and then we figure out how to make both things happen. Taylor felt tears of relief starting to form. You really want to figure this out together? I really do. Because these past 3 days without you made me realize that no playoff season is worth it if I don't have you to share it with. And no championship is meaningful if I achieve it at the cost of our relationship. And I realized that no tour is worth it if I lose myself in the process. And losing you would definitely be losing a part of myself. Travis pulled her close, and for the first time in 3 days they both felt like they could breathe again. So what do we do now? Taylor asked. Now we figure out how to make this work, Travis said. We look at the dates, we look at my schedule, and we make a plan that works for both of us. Even if that means compromises from both of us. Especially if that means compromises from both of us. That's what partnerships are about. I love you, Taylor said, holding him tight. I love you, too, Travis replied. All of you, including the ambitious, driven part that sometimes makes decisions that scare me. And I love all of you, including the part that challenges me to be a better partner and refuses to let me take our relationship for granted. They spent the rest of the evening talking through possibilities. Shorter tour legs, strategic breaks that aligned with important games, ways to stay connected even when physically apart. It wasn't easy, and they didn't solve everything that night, but they solved the most important thing. They chose each other and committed to figuring out the rest together. Because sometimes love isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about fighting in a way that brings you closer together and teaches you how to choose each other, even when your dreams seem to be pulling you in different directions. What do you think about this story of career conflicts, relationship growth, and learning to fight constructively? Have you ever had to balance career ambitions with relationship priorities? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because sometimes the most important thing isn't avoiding disagreements, but learning how to work through them together. If this story reminded you that the strongest relationships are the ones where both people can pursue their dreams while still choosing each other, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about love, compromise, and the beautiful work of building something together. Because sometimes the most romantic thing you can say to someone isn't, "I'll give up everything for you." It's, "Let's figure out how to make everything work for both of us."